acknowledgement of traditional land. I wish to acknowledge this land in which we live, work, and stand for thousands of years as being the traditional land of the Huron and the Seneca, and most recently the Mississaugas of the Red River. Today, this meeting space is still the home of many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. So with that, I think let's start our meeting. I'll hand it over to Todd to see if you're open comments.
Thanks, James. Welcome, everybody. Here we are for our March CPLC meeting. We do have an agenda in front of these sitting members of the CPLC committee, but we're going to interrupt that agenda a little bit. We have something kind of interesting we wanted to share with you. Something transpired here yesterday at Fort Meade. We had a very, very quick response by our priority response with police officers, and I just thought it's a good example, an opportunity to give you a good example of what takes place, not just out on the streets, but sometimes right here in the front lobby of our station. So with that said, I'm going to introduce one of probably the most outstanding officers here at 43 Division. He used to work for me up in the neighborhood officer unit, Officer Constable Damien Catcher here. He's going to step forward and just give a brief explanation on what Damien was involved in yesterday. About 12:30 yesterday afternoon, we had a person in crisis walk into the front lobby, right where you guys came in today for the meeting. A person in crisis came in. He was obviously in mental distress. There was some issues going on with him. Our front desk engaged him in conversation started. He immediately took his shirt off and displayed a knife and threatened to kill himself right in our front lobby. Obviously, it's very concerning. And what ended up happening, not only did interior people respond, a call went out, believe it or not. We have to have officers attend the station as well. And Damien was one of the first officers to attend to the scene. Obviously, with the knife being involved, we're trained, but that's a very dangerous situation, not only for the officers inside the station at the front lobby, but also there was a civilian in the lobby at the time. So that civilian was quickly escorted out, the scene was contained, and then Damien did a phenomenal job of coming on scene. I thought it would be interesting just for him to give a brief explanation, but I just wanted to let you know it was resolved peacefully. We ended up using the use of force option that Damien's going to explain, and that person was unharmed. He was apprehended and taken to the hospital to get the help that he needed, which is the most important thing. And I think sometimes in the media you see that we're responding, and I think the public is led to believe, incorrectly so, that we always resort to the use of our firearms. And I can tell you that's actually a very, very rare occasion. So with no further delay, Damien, if you just give a brief explanation, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. So yesterday at about 12:47, the incident that the staff sergeant started to explain happened. There was a male that came in crisis. He had a knife and he started cutting himself, threatening to kill himself. And he wanted us to shoot him if he wasn't successful in that endeavor. So as he said, our front desk staff put it out over the radio that this was happening in the station. We happened to be in the back lot eating lunch. It just happened that way. So I responded to the front. There were other officers that responded from the road as well. Three of us, myself, Preston Wasman, and Mark Violeka, all approached, and we approached the inside officers giving commands and attempting to get him to stop his actions. Fortunately, he didn't listen. There was good luck for us in that he ended up going down on his knees, and at that point, we were able to open the door and then successfully subdue him with a round from the less lethal shotgun. So it's called less than lethal because it can still be lethal. However, it's certainly a better option. I happen to be lucky enough that I also have a taser. I'll get to that 1 second. Louder. Sorry. It's called the less than lethal shotgun. It shoots a beanbag round, which is deployed out at about 280 feet per second. The round itself is like any other 12-gauge round. The difference being that the interior of it is Kevlar sheeting with a bunch of small pellets in it. It instantly takes form once it's out of the muzzle of the barrel. So there's a zero distance gap that we have with this particular weapon, meaning that we can engage somebody point blank or up to about 60 feet. So it gives us a little bit of distance to deal with people with edged weapons, which allows us time to formulate better plans and keeps us safe, keeps them safe, so we don't have to resort to our firearms if it's successful, which in this case it was. In this particular weapon, we have a lot of time to decide what we're doing. It's not an immediate action, it's a planned event. So in that case, because of that, we're able to aim a little bit differently. And I was able to hit him in the arm and ended up that he threw the knife away after he was hit. He didn't want to get hit again. He said it hurt. He didn't want to get hit again. So it was good. He was apprehended on mental health act and taken assistance. So what happened?
Fantastic. I have to tell you, Damien's downplaying it a little bit. It could have been textbook training video the way it went down. The commands that Damien gave, the response from all the officers involved. And at the end of the day, somebody who was intent on either hurting himself, potentially other people, including officers, was apprehended without any permanent injuries and taken to the hospital again to get the help that he needed. Well done.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Stephen. So with that, let's kick off our agenda. First up is our crime analyst to talk about our crime statistics. Adam Block.
Thank you, CJ. You just may not be as exciting. As most of you know, I'm Adam Block, crime analyst here at 42 Division, and like usual, I'm going to go through the slideshow of what's been happening in the division for the past month. As always, we start off with a map here. It shows 42 Division, and it shows our community members that are actively participating in our CPLC. We have a pretty strong CPLC here, which we're quite proud of. We are always looking to grow and add more members. So if anyone's interested, just let them know. And moving along, here's another map of the division. This time it's broken down into the identified neighborhoods in our division. It's been identified throughout the entire city. These ones in our division. It's been done by the City of Toronto, not the Toronto Police, and study certain neighborhoods that we prioritize more that have more issues. We have neighborhood officers assigned to those. This shows you the officers that are assigned to. Just one of them, CJ, our officer, probably today. These captured who was here used to be one of our neighborhood officers, but starting up, this is the collisions that occurred in February. So this map, the different dots signify different types of collisions, and then we have a heat overlay just to give you a better visual representation of where the problems are. February was just last month. I don't know if you remember, we had a lot of bad weather. So we did have quite a few more collisions than we're used to seeing, especially in these intersections along North Avenue East. Those are some pretty big clusters. But in the past 2 weeks, as the we had better. We use maps like this on a weekly basis, and that helps our management team decide where our traffic enforcement is going to be directed.
So this week, as Adam indicated, this week in our weekly crime management meeting was all of an hour and a half ago. Inspector Smith and the crime management team took a look at what Adam provided, and the traffic priorities for this week that we're going to focus on is the area around the Scarborough Town Center, which you can see is in the northwest corner of the division, continues to be a problem as far as collisions. It stands to reason upwards of 23 million people travel through that area annually, so you're going to have a higher propensity towards collisions. And the secondary focus, we actually have two, is there is a traffic initiative citywide regarding pedestrian safety. That continues. It's the March Break campaign. We're going to concentrate on that as well. That's a divisional as well as a citywide service campaign. That ends on March 17th. And Markham Road from Highway 401 to the Kingston Road area. As you can see, based on the areas that Adam has shown you, are our hot spots. So we'll be focusing this week on those areas.
Next slide here is just traffic from Navy to get now. The heat overlay is the same overlay we were just looking at, but now those little crosses that represents where enforcement has taken place. And as you can see, for the most part, where you see the hot spots, it is where the focus is. Moving on to a couple of our crime maps. These are all looking pretty good. This map, division so far this year with break-ins, they're down quite significantly. What has been affecting the division mostly is commercial break-and-enters. I can tell you on this map, you see this cluster here and then that cluster there. Those are both what we call series of commercial entries, and our MC did some good work, and in both those series individuals were arrested. And we put forward reports for that. And our residential entries, which is households. To date, we've only had 8 houses broken into. Unbelievably low numbers. We're in division size.
So that's where I'm going to knock on wood. I think for most of those that come to our meetings regularly, you'll remember last year we had quite an issue with residential break-in enters. So we're very happy to see those numbers come down. And again, same thing with the commercial entries. We're down considerably over last year. We're hoping that trend continues. But I would again ask, as my eyes and ears out there for 43 division, if you see something suspicious, please report it, because you help us in that way in crime prevention. You know those people that are supposed to be in your neighborhood, or your plazas and your businesses in the area. You know, 3 o'clock in the morning and there's a person looking around inside the store. You're likely that's suspicious. Please phone us on that. Thank you.
Okay, next up, this is our robbery map, and unfortunately, we have seen a slight increase in robberies this year, but you never like to say increase, but we have driven our robberies down so much in the past 5 years that even though it's increased, still the number is still quite a bit lower than what we are seeing around the city. So our robberies are staying lower. Two of the things we're seeing right now, one of the trends is as young people robbing young people is a little bit of a problem in our division, more street robberies. And one thing we've only seen one in this division, but it has happened across Chicago. I know even when we talk about distraction back, these people they mostly target older people and try to do jewelry swaps. In the past couple months, we have seen some of these happen around Chicago and even North Region when we're getting a little bit more aggressive, and some of them started getting classified as robberies. So just for our people that are out during the day, to be cognizant of that. People are approaching you and probably too close to you, asking you to see jewelry or how to use stores at the same phone, and just be cognizant of that.
And though the increase in robberies is a concern to us, again, for the long-standing members, I want to say almost 5 years consecutively we've driven that particular stat down, where consecutively year after year we've driven down the numbers of robberies. Eventually, it's going to plateau. We have taken note of it. We had seen a little bit of an increase up in the Scarborough Town Center area, so especially because of March break, we deployed extra resources up there. Both, you'll see some uniform, but we're also up there in plain clothes, and it's had a really big impact already this week. We've seen a decrease in robberies in that area. We're hoping that trend continues.
And our last crime map, our theft of autos map. This is an area, say for the past 12 months or so, we have seen the trend of our theft of autos increasing. A lot of older cars getting stolen. One of the things I talked about every CPLC in the past 3 months that we haven't seen, and it continued in February, was people leaving their cars warming up. That hit us pretty hard in this division this year. A lot of people leaving their cars warming up out front of the house or out front of commercial properties, and somebody else jumping in and driving the car. Weather has warmed up. We haven't seen one of those in about 10 days, so hopefully this will be the last time I talk about it, and maybe we will revisit it next November. But so, no more unusual, but they are on the downtrend right now. So, and then our major crime indicators, as usual, this is set up by Stats Canada. This is the indicators they pick that they feel that neighborhood vision. As you see, for the most part, we are doing quite successful so far this year. I would say try and look at the numbers more than the percentage right now. Numbers are small, you get kind of big. It says we're down 50% here, but this is the indicator that we aren't right here. It's just 210.5. But one you can see assaults. We're at a 3-year low. Like quite a bit looks really positive on the community. That's the bulk of all major crime indicators in all divisions across the city. And then robberies, like I said, we are up. It says 13%, but we actually look at the numbers. We're only up by 7, and we're still well below where we were 2 years ago. And break and enters, we are way out right now. So, and then last but not least, I won't talk too much about this. I can give a little tip. I know this will kind of segue into what one of the guest percentages is, but March is fraud prevention month. So we just want to get people thinking about fraud prevention, all different frauds. This is Government of Canada website, the competition bureau. You can go on this website, and it gives you all kinds of tips and hints to help you try and protect yourself. That's it for me.
Thanks.
Thank you, Aaron. So next up is our guest speaker, and this time it's in-house, so it's one of our fellow members of the CPLC, Zishan Buster. Zishan has actually been a member of the CPLC since 2018. He works for a financial institution and closely in the fraud prevention department. Given the theme of the month, we thought it was just appropriate to have Zishan come in here and say a few words. He has a presentation and we'll walk through it, and I'll allow Zishan to make a few opening comments. So please, Zishan.
James, do you mind if we skip ahead and maybe let Randy do his, he wanted to speak just so we can make sure Zian gets set
Sure,
up.
so I know Zishan's got to get set up on the computer, so in the meantime.
Okay, cool.
Good
afternoon, everybody. Actually, just go to the front, please.
Well, I just want to let you know that last CPLC meeting, we had one of our fine members here, Daniel, recorded the meeting, and we uploaded that recording to one of our social media platforms that we use quite often, Instagram. And we had 545 people watching this video. 545 people were watching the video, the presentation about wills. Not just watching the video, they were actually giving some input live. Questions were being asked, questions were being answered. And compared to the, the 3 or 4 YouTube views that we usually get, that's consider that a success. So today, Daniel, thank you very much, is once again recording this. We're going to try something different. We're going to try something better. We knew that worked last time, but instead of uploading a recording that might be up to 45 minutes or an hour last week, we're going to break down that video into segments. But the officer with the less lethal shotgun, that'll be a segment. Crime prevention will be a segment, and then what the staff sergeant inspector have to say, that'll be a different segment. We're going to upload those, and we expect thousands of views for that. So, an example, when the officer was speaking with the less lethal shotgun, I had 65 people watching live, and because of the time of day it was on March break, I was able to see who it was. I took a screenshot. The numbers can't be fudged. We had 65 people watch this information that the officer gave out. So that's kind of a success as well. Angela Brackett, she's running March break camp. She sends her regret she couldn't be here. Just want to let you know, Saturday, May 25th is the walk for Alzheimer's at Romino de Rio from the Alzheimer's Society in Toronto, we talked about last time. Residents of Scarborough raised over $25,000 for that, May 25th. This weekend, also another weekend in May, we're just working on the details. The Port Union Rec Center is giving us the little skate area, or the hockey arena and the skate area, absolutely free of charge. Vendors are going to come. We're going to do kind of like that introduction. Summer's here. People are there with the skateboards or longboards. We're going to do kind of a safety camp. Vendors are going to be there giving lessons, tuning up skateboards all for free, to the students and stuff. So we'll be putting that out on social media. Any questions for me?
Thanks, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Just while he's getting set up too, guys, I just want to touch on, so next meeting, reminder that it's our off-site evening meeting. So it'll be same day, second Thursday of the month, but it'll be at 6:30 at night up at the church up at Markham on the 401 basically. So I just have the information, a little map to where it is. I'll just leave them at the back. So just a reminder, that's where our meeting will be next month. If you would like to attend, or certainly get it out to your friends and neighbors. I know sometimes it's easier for folks that are working to get there for the evening meeting. We had quite a turnout last year.
And just as background on that, like I'd say, we've in the past meetings we've discussed this where members have come to the community and told us, the afternoon time frame sometimes doesn't work for many working professionals, and also if you remember Adam's map in terms of where the members are, there are a lot of gaps in our division where we don't have representation. So part of us doing it in this neighborhood is really to be in the community and do it at a time when everyone can attend. And so I think the location is Markham and Ellesmere, just north of Ellesmere. It's you know, sort of quite a busy spot, and we thought, you know, it would be nice for us to get some fresh faces joined. So please let everyone in your neighborhood, respective neighborhoods know. And the meeting is April 11th, Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Okay, with that.
Hi everybody, how's everyone doing today? Now for those that don't know, I'm Shamax, immigration I am CPLC member. So 2018 is after I met Randy coffee at the top of it. As for a financial institution. Of course, I do want to mention that can you hear me? Sorry about that. I have to kind of speak at the mic, so is that better? Yeah. So I do work for a financial institution. I do have to kind of right off say off the bat that you know, I've been authorized to speak as a civilian today as a community member. I'm not permitted to policies and procedures of the bank. That's something you understand. But with that being said, all of the information that I will present today can be obtained from Government of Canada sources, such as the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center, the Competition Bureau of Canada, the RCMP website, and the Toronto Police website. So just want to thank Councilor Blanc. He kind of set the tone for the presentation. You know, March is fraud prevention month, so it worked out beautifully, and I was given an opportunity to present today. So with that being said, we'll get right into it. All right, so today's kind of focus is actually going to be check fraud and scams. Just because that is my line of work. You know, unfortunately, a lot of Canadians have been victims to scams and lose billions of dollars year round. And these scammers, they target people from all walks of life. So, of course, they don't discriminate. It's anybody can be a victim of fraud. Okay. Scammers will use checks to defraud people of their money. So with that being said, today's goal for me, the reason why I wanted to do this presentation is to educate you, because knowledge is power, and in order to prevent fraud, the best thing to do is to, of course, educate the community, right? So just as an introduction, I wanna share with you, for the community members especially, what is a check? Right? So when you think of a check, what do you think of? Right? Now, according to the Canadian Bankers Association, check by definition is actually just an agreement to pay. So it's just a piece of paper. It's an agreement to pay between two individuals. So what that means is that check doesn't actually hold any real value until the check clears. Okay. Now what I mean by that is, if you're given a check by somebody and you deposit that check into your account, you will see the balance reflect the amount of the check that's been given to you. However, the check doesn't actually hold any value because it has to go through a clearing process. That clearing process can take a range between maybe 5 to 7 business days. Okay? During that time, if you cash the check, you actually take out the money that you deposit into the account. If that check doesn't clear, you will be responsible to owe the money. Okay? Now, some people may ask, like, why did the bank even cash my check to begin with? The answer to that question is when you deposit a check into your account, the bank is essentially just advancing you the money. It's a credit decision. So every financial institution will give you a different hold code, right? Which is what it's known as. But what it is actually, for example, if you deposit a $1,000 check into your account, the bank may give you that $1,000 right away. But what they're really doing is they're advancing you that money until that check clears. If you take out that $1,000 while the check is being cleared, or undergoing the clearing process, and the check ends up returning, then you are going to be 100% liable to repay the funds going on to the account. The bank won't, because the bank has given you the check, right? They advance the money to you, and the bank is already assuming that, you know, you've done your research and you've done your due diligence and you're accepted. But the check doesn't, it's going to be more, but it will. Okay, so with this check clearing process, the fact that, people deposit checks into their, that's a lot of people what they want, and I'll touch base on that, right? There's a couple of reasons why checks can actually end up returning. The most common are counterfeit or NSF. So to you, they maybe appear to be legit to someone that doesn't work in financial industry, but that check is actually a fake check. And what the fraudster is hoping is you'll notice and you'll pause that check in your account, take out the check, you're going to end up paying funds that were spent. Okay? NSF checks, non-sufficient funds. So, I can give, let's just say, Daniel a check for $1,000. Okay? And, I might have owed Daniel $1,000 back in the day, and now I'm giving him a check. And he'll be happy because I gave him $1,000. He'll deposit that check into his account, and he might take out the money, but that check is going to end up returning because I never had $1,000 in my account to begin with. It's an NSF check. So I basically just scammed Daniel, right? And now you're not never going to hear from me again because I owe you money and I'm gone, right? So that's one of the scams. So that pretty much leads me to the first scam, which is known as check cashing scam. Okay, so with the check cashing scam, pretty straightforward. Fraudster will approach an individual, ask them to cash a fraudulent check for them. It could be an NSF check, it could be a counterfeit check. What they'll say is, here's $1,000. Can you please cash this for me? I don't have access to a bank account at the moment. I'm in desperate need of funds. Can you please do this? Some people might say, yeah, it's just a check. Yeah, sure, why not? Go into their account, with an ATM, go to an ATM, take out the money, give them the cash, and then a couple of days later, they say, wait, my account is in a negative balance. Why am I owing $1,000? Because that check never cleared. We were given a fraudulent check. Okay. There's also checks that are known as forged endorsed checks, which is essentially checks that are not payable to you. So this is very important, and I want to share this with the community members because you might cash a check for somebody that's in your family, right? You might cash a check for your husband, wife, brother, sister, but by doing that, you're actually putting yourself at risk. The reason for that is because those checks can actually return within 6 years from the time you deposit the check. Let me give you an example. Okay? Somebody deposits a check, let's just say, it was for maybe from their company, and it's payable to their wife. And they deposit the check into their account. Now, if that company realizes that the wife, who the check was actually intended for, never deposited that check because they've done an audit now and they figured out, hey, this check might have been stolen. What they'll do is they'll return that check. So imagine if the husband has deposited the check, so they deposited in good faith, thinking that, hey, it's just my wife's check, I can cash it. But that check can actually end up returning. Does that kind of make sense? It may not, but if the check is not payable to you, don't deposit the check into your account. You may be thinking that my bank could allow me to do that. And different financial institutions have different policies regarding that, but it's actually a risk because that company might think that their check was actually stolen and deposited by somebody else, right? They can actually return that check anytime within 6 years. Okay, that's a very long time. So keep that in mind. Don't deposit checks that are not payable to you. If it doesn't have your name on it, don't deposit it. As another similar example, you receive a check from your car provider. So for example, let's just say Honda gives you a check, and it's payable to, your insurance company gives you a check that's payable to both Honda and yourself. Now you may think that I can deposit that check into my account, but you can't because if you have a loan with that car provider, you would have to deposit the check in their account because if they find out that you didn't deposit that check where it was payable to, they can actually return that check. It's known as a forged invoice. Okay? So moving on, another scam is known as an overpayment scam. And James, I'm going to need your help just because I want to make sure I have the time. I tend to talk a lot during presentations. But with the overpayment scam, we see it a lot with Kijiji. Okay, so somebody will sell an item online with Kijiji. and they'll be contacted by a fraudster. And the fraudster will say, okay, you're selling this for $200, I'm interested. But you know what? I'm going to give you $500 for it, just because, you know what, I want to cover your delivery charges. Or they might even say that I sent you $500 was a mistake. Can you please send that money back to me? So what the victim will do is, because they think that they've already received the check, they received payment for the item they're selling, they'll actually deposit that check into their account, cash the check. The fraudster will instruct them to send the money to this account or to send the money back to them in some way. The victim will do that, but then the check returns. And once it returns, you basically lost the item that you sold, and you haven't gotten any money from that check that was given to you. It was a fake check. It was a counterfeit check. And the fraudster, back to the clearing process, is basically hoping that you don't realize this while the check is undergoing a fake process. They're hoping that you put the check into your account and you cash it out right away. In some instances, they might even ask you for your banking information. They'll say, let me put the check into your account, right? A lot of elderly community members, they're not aware that there's a mobile deposit function now for checks, where you can just take a picture of a check and deposit, right? So the fraudster will actually ask you for your bank account information, and if you give that away, you're exposing yourself to risk, because now they're going to deposit this check. They have access to your bank account. They can do anything they want with the funds, and you're going to be responsible to pay the money back, because not only did you disclose your banking information to the fraudster, but you also accepted a fake check. Okay, so that's known as an overpayment scam. So with that being said, just a couple of pointers. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm moving very quickly. It's a presentation that I've compiled. It's very long because, it takes hours to explain, but I've kind of compiled it as short as I could. But with a couple of pointers with regards to check fraud prevention are: don't ever accept a check from a stranger or someone you have never met. It's very simple. I don't need to explain myself any further, right? If you don't know the person that's giving you the check, don't accept the check from them. It has no value. Some of you might be thinking, well, wait, what if I accept a draft or a certified check? Even with that, I regret to advise you, those checks can actually be altered. So has anyone seen the movie Catch Me If You Can? So Frank Abagnale, what he's doing is he's altering the check, right? So that check, with these checks, it can actually take 90 days for them to return. So you might be given a draft where you think, hey, it's legitimate funds, like it's a draft. Your bank teller might even think that as well, because fraudsters, they're so smart with it. So you deposit into your account, you cash it, and 90 days you're out 1,000, 100,000, whatever you like, depending on the amount that's been given to you. That's how sophisticated these schemes can be. So with that being said, if you're doing your due diligence and you're not accepting checks from strangers in the first place, from people that you don't know, you won't put yourself in that position, right? Never share your bank card information and personal information with anybody, okay? Overpayment, do not accept a check that's greater than the initial paid amount, which I explained to you. And if you're receiving a check and you're being asked to transfer the money right away, that's a huge red flag. You never want to do that, because again, fraudsters hoping that you don't notice that the check is fraudulent. They're just going to get you to spend the money from that check. So then when it returns, again, you're going to be responsible. Does that make sense? Okay, great. So how are we on time, James? Good, perfect. So I just want to show you some videos now that basically summarizes what I've just presented within 2 minutes. That's why I'm not recording, right? Of course, there's an advertisement. Yes. Please
It went really well the last time I put you guys
So you know what, like, while we're waiting, I just wanted to quickly go into the next topic, which is ID theft and phishing. So actually, from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. today, Toronto Police actually they tweeted about this March spot phishing. So if I don't get a chance to cover it today, I'm sure for anyone that has Twitter can go on. I know Randy has Twitter, but we can check. It was actually broadcasted, some pointers and some fraud phishing tips. So you can read about that. That's okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
That's okay, guys. What, you wanna?
Give it a shot.
That's why you can always lie.
Why are you basically doing that? Can I ask you a question? Okay, what do you do if you want to sell a car? Private, because you're right, certified checks, you don't even need the product, you just need yourself, right? Sell the check, transact that. Sorry, sell a car and transact that sale.
So that's a great question, right? Now, with regards to selling a vehicle, to be honest with you, I haven't personally ever done a private sale where I've had to sell my vehicle, but you want to go through your open channels, right? So you want to, of course, go through Service Ontario. I know you can buy a transfer of ownership package from Service Ontario. For any of the officers or any members here that do have experience in that, can touch base. But you want to be in a position where the person that you're dealing with, right, if there's any red flags that are being raised, for instance, right? If they're communicating with you with only text message, you haven't actually met them in person,
No, but let's assume you met the person, Vancouver Drive, this, that, the other thing. Okay, I want to buy the car. We go through the normal process of packaging, and then they give you certified check. Okay, how do you know that that's?
you actually won't. So the best thing to do in that situation is bring it to your bank, right? Bring it to teller and have them actually verify it. That's the best thing to do.
So as
I know. I'm sorry.
But as you said, they have 90 days to clear a bank draft.
Right, but if they're very, so when you deposit a check, by teller, right, they can actually send it to the fraud department and have them verify, right? What they might do is they might just hold it for 5 business days, and then once it clears, you might think the check is okay. But if there's actually alteration concerns where the check has been altered, the best thing to do is, if you're going to deposit into your account, not spend any of the funds, have your institution verify for you. And then once it's verified, then you know it's legitimate. Because an investigator like myself, I can see if the check is legitimate or not. Once it's we have the ability to verify.
Just to confirm, so basically you're saying the first judgment call out there is for you to make the right judgment call.
Absolutely.
Just to see if, any red flags being raised, if you really trust the other party. But if you do, and you still want to be cautious, then your point is to go to the bank.
Absolutely.
And,
that would be the best thing to
involve
do.
and tell them that, this, if you could verify this.
Exactly.
Will they verify it at that moment that you're there? Because the other guy who's buying the car is going to want keys and ownership. If I give you the money, I want the car.
Absolutely,
Right?
right?
So like, how quickly do you validate?
To be honest with you, it would depend on your financial institution. If it's something to do with purchasing a car, you would obviously want to, have them verify as quickly as possible for you, just given the time-sensitive nature of that transaction. But just keep in mind, I don't want to say
One of the majors.
I would say maybe a couple of business days. I would say I can't give you an exact, just because think about it this way, right? The fact that you're even accepting a check as a form of payment is still a risk, right? Because again, right, if that check altered, you won't know, right? So the best thing to do is have your institution verify if the person that's basically that you're selling the vehicle to is in a rush. And then, think about it this way: if they truly cared, if they were in a fraudster, I'm sure they would understand. But the person that's putting that pressure on you, and saying that no, you need to deposit check, I need the car right away. In those situations, you want to
Don't cash is king. Cash is king.
20,000.
I think there's that I'm getting is that there is no foolproof.
Again, I can't speak on my personal experience, but I just, I mean, I've seen it happen. And the person that I was that they were interacting with, that person has said, you know, and those type of things are red flags, right? Because if you're dealing with a legit criminal, then that's what they want to do. They're never going to want to show a face, right? They'll find ways to maybe go around it, and you know.
In the interest of time,
Yeah, sorry.
I know the members might have other questions as well, so.
So I'm just, yeah, so thank you. So I'm just gonna move on forward. That's a great question, that's a great concern that you raised. Now, with regards to ID theft and phishing, go over this just, you know, because of the time restriction. But ID theft is basically identity theft. Phishing is any practice of sending emails that appear to be from legitimate sources but are actually not. Most common example I could give you is, you know, you might have received that iTunes email or an email from an institution saying that there was a deposit made into your account today, or your account was hacked. Please click on this link in order to access your funds. That's a phishing email. What they're trying to do is they're trying to actually get access to your personal banking information. If you click on that link, you enter your personal banking information, you've just given away to a fraudster because that was a fake email, right? Similarly, phishing and phishing, essentially they're just fancy terms, but they're just phishing. For example, CRA phone scam. I'm sure everybody has heard about that. When they're calling you, they're impersonating CRA agents or law enforcement. They're trying to fish for your banking information, and they're telling you to basically give up your personal banking information or threatening you to take out money from your account and deposit it into another, right? And that also comes with impersonation as well. Right? You might get calls from Microsoft agents, from your bank, telling you your computer has been hacked, or your information has been compromised, information, or this account, and we can help you. That's all fraud. You never want to give your banking information over the phone. That's it. That's summarized, right? That's something you never want to do. If your bank is calling you, they're never going to ask you to prove your identity to them. If you call your bank, they'll ask you security questions. But if they're calling you, they have all of your information in front of them. There's no reason why they should ask you for your date of birth or your social insurance number or your banking information. If you suspect that, you handle that on any of your cards, because that most likely was impersonated. I want to quickly go over this infographic in Canada. Basically, what it's saying is 156 million emails are sent every day. Out of those 156 emails, 16 million pass through filters, 8 million are open, 800 links are copied, and 80,000 people fall for a scam daily through phishing emails. So if you're ever wondering how these cyber attacks happen, of course I can't mention any financial institution, but you might have heard of the credit act. It's through these cyber attacks, right? It's through these phishing attacks. Right? So even companies are victims, right? Scammers target people from all walks of life. Even companies are victims, right? So next, are we going to now it brings me to the most important topic in this presentation, which is money transfer scams. Okay? So these money transfer scams, they target victims to transfer a large amount of money overseas or to another individual's bank. One of the most common scams is the CRA scam. So what these scammers were doing is they were calling people, they were making threats and saying, you owe us money, you need to transfer money into this account. And what they're really doing is they're basically, it's part of the scam. So what they might be doing in that situation is they might actually be scamming someone else. So that they were given might actually of another victim. But what they're getting you to do is to transfer money into that bank account, and then that person will then transfer the money overseas. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're getting you to launder the money for them, right? Because if the police ever do an investigation, they'll ask you, oh, you got a call from the CRA, the account number, you'll give them the account number. And again, I'm not going to speak on the way the police do an investigation because I don't know. But if the account number is given, then it would be the account number of the person that had the deposit into their account. And a lot of times, though, that person that's receiving the money is also a victim. So what I mean by this is these type of scams are actually twofold. Okay? In one instance, what can happen is you can send your own money to the fraudster. In another instance, you might be asked to accept money from the fraudster and then send money. And the reason why they do that, again, is because they're trying to get you to launder funds for them so that it's untraceable. If ever comes down to an investigation, the money will be going from account to account to account to account, and it could be untraceable that way. Okay? In a lot of these scams, the victim is offered a monetary award in exchange to transfer the funds. So, for instance, I'm going to be speaking about one common scam is the inheritance scam. Has anybody heard about the inheritance scam? So, with the inheritance scam, fraudster might call you, impersonating a lawyer, government official, distant relative. They'll say somebody has passed away, has left inheritance. Now, in order to access this inheritance, you A, have to give your account number or your banking information to them, or B, you have to send the money. And the reason why is through taxes and fees. That's one. The other one is the lottery scam. That's another common one as well. The lottery scam, it works very similarly. So, a situation will happen where you get contacted by somebody. Again, they could impersonate a lawyer, anybody, a bank representative, and they might say, hey, you won the lottery, and they'll ask you to pay a fee in order to pay their prize. In a lot of these situations, the victim hasn't even paid the money, but they're so happy because they think that they've actually won this money. And in a lot of situations, they'll actually be given documents. I see staff laughing there, but they'll actually be given documents, fake documents from the lawyer who's saying that, hey, you won this prize, and that's what makes them to think that it's legitimate, right? So, I mean, all jokes aside, it does appear to be legitimate, right? Especially if you've never seen this type of document before. You might think that you've actually won the lottery because everything just seems so real on the surface, but it's actually not. You haven't won anything. They're just trying to get you to give them your money. In the end, you're gonna be losing all of your money, and you'll get nothing in return. In a lot of cases, the victim might be sent a check, and I've already explained to you the way the check works, right? So what do you think is going to happen when you deposit that check into your account and wire transfer it back to another person overseas? The check is going to return, and again, you will be responsible. You'll incur the loss, okay? Number one scam in Canada in 2018, as reported by RCMP and the CTV article that I've seen this from, it was the romance scam. Now this scam is very unique in the sense what the fraudster will do is, yes,
You say romance? There is a romance scam.
Romance.
Oh, sorry about that. I thought you said romance.
So with the romance scam, it does happen on online dating sites. What will happen is the fraudster will contact the victim. They need to be from Canada, they're currently overseas, and will manipulate them. So they'll manipulate them and getting their banking information. They'll build trust with them. They'll say that, I love you, and I really want to come and meet you. But the thing is, I'm serving in the military right now, or I'm a doctor, or I'm on a work trip, and I can't make it to you right now. But what you can do to support me so that our relationship, grows, is to send me your money. Send me your money or give me your banking information. And a lot of victims, and again, right, these are people you have to understand, right? It could be elderly victims, it could be people that are alone, don't have children, that are in financial distress, that are emotionally distressed. And these are people that are preyed on, right, with these type of scams. Okay? And in the end, you lose all your money. Right? The money is gone. There was never a relationship in the first place. And that's why it's been the #1 scam. $22.5 million lost by Canadians in 2018. That's reported lost. A lot of victims, unfortunately, they don't report it because, I mean, of course, like, they're going to feel embarrassed, right? You're not going to want to tell the police or tell the institution you've been scammed. And it's somebody that you've never met, it's just somebody that you've been interacting with online. And I thought you were going to eventually, but now they don't respond to your emails, they don't respond to your calls. They're gone.
So you should just given, since we're coming up on the hours, we're going to wrap it up here.
Absolutely.
So you should be available even, during our break before we start the members only section. So any questions, feel free to address them. I think these slides, you said a lot of this, all of this public information. And so
Yes.
we can, if that's okay, we can make it available to any number who wants to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that being said, thank you so much for your time. I know, again, it's a lot to cover, but all of this information can be obtained from Government of Canada's sources. I do recommend everybody visit the Competition Bureau of Canada, their website, and the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center. There's actually a link for the Little Black Book of Scams. That's where a lot of this information is actually going to come from. You can find it there. There's tons of scams. I've only spoken about maybe 4 or 5. There's tons of scams that you all can see on there to educate yourself. The biggest message that I want to just quickly wrap up is don't share your banking information with anybody. Of course, if you're ever asked to accept a check or to transfer money overseas, that's a huge red flag. Do it, okay? Whether it's selling your vehicle or accepting a check for a payment, research, right? They use these tools that are available to you to self-educate yourself so that you're not ever put where you might be actually falling for a scam. Okay? And if you do fall for a scam, I quickly want to mention, these are so for your local store, please complain on thoughts and
The final message, Dave, don't sell your car without verifying the check.
Good job, bud.
So I think it's a still announcement. We do have a new CPLC. As far back, Ahilan, if you don't mind standing up, please. Ahilan, sir, with the Ahilan works for RBC. Scarborough, and next question goes over to Todd and open up the community.
Sure. So ordinarily at this time, what we do is we open up concerns. I usually do a follow-up from the previous month's meeting. There was something brought to our time. We did have the one again. That's where we consider there's been a regarding process. I in the park, but we will continue. Kids, continue to monitor it because I'll leave it to some questions regarding the park. Okay, so with that community, this will be our concern. June 1st. Yeah, that was a quick answer. That was an easy.